Hey guys, welcome back. So there is a saying that says, what goes up must come down. So you know what I'm going with this. In today's video, we're gonna speak about the landing. The previous video, we did the takeoff, initial climb. So eventually, if you go to a flight school, you will have to do this maneuver, which basically today's video is gonna start with the final approach, the flare, the landing, decelerating the airplane to a full stop. If you're new to these terms like the flare, so basically it is a maneuver where the airplane would need to reduce the rate of descent to make a smooth touchdown on the runway. When the airplane initiates the flare, basically the pilot will pull the elevator or the yoke. He will pull back, which will move the elevator up, as I explained in that previous video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it first to understand the basic flight controls principles. At the same time, we have to cut the power so that we don't have any excess power when we touch down. This is in normal conditions. Sometimes maybe in crosswind, you would need to have a bit of power to safeguard your airplane. So this is the profile. We'll be approaching at 65 knots, and I'm sure we'll have to configure the airplane at some point, which means we have to put the flaps down, which are those surfaces that you can see at the root of the wings. Here we are. This is our same airplane. We're at the same airport. We are ready to fly, I guess. At 10 feet, we have to flare. Now we have to maintain the power to maintain 65 knots. Now as we get closer, I will add more flaps, but more flaps means more drag. If I need to compensate for the drag, that means I need to add some power. So just be aware of that. So we'll keep this pitch and we can see the puppy, which is on the left side. It gives us our height, or if we're on the correct slope above the runway. So we have 2 red and 2 white. Now we're getting higher. I'm gonna correct. So 2 white, 2 red. It's ideal to keep both, like 2 white and 2 red. I'm getting 1 notch of flaps, which is 20 degrees. See, we've taken the flaps, but since we are high, which means we're using our weight to gain speed, so transfer of energy, we don't need to add power for that drag increase from the flaps. So as we get to our path, now we have to add the power to maintain 65 knots. Now, since we are on our path, I'm going to add more flaps and now we require more power. You see the speed is dropping, so I have to add more power. There we go. We're back on it, 65 knots. And I'm going to add full flaps, and now we would need more power even. You see how the speed is going down? All right, now we're going back to our speed. Okay, we have 3 whites. I have to go down. If I correct by pushing down, I get more speed. Speed will increase, so I need to reduce the power. I'm adjusting, so now we have 3 whites.
Oh, it's idle.
Okay, she said reduce to idle, but I think we're a bit high to do that. And we're focusing on the end of the runway to flare. And here we go. Idle power, and we hold the nose. Here we go. Touchdown. And we maintain center line.
Apply the brakes.
And now she says apply the brakes. If we need to vacate really short of the runway like now, I will start braking. But if you don't need to, we don't need to brake as soon as possible, especially at high speed, not to wear the brakes with time. So you can see that the airplane is stopping by itself. This is a long runway for a Cessna 152. Eventually it will stop by itself. If there is headwind, it will even stop earlier than this, and if there's an upslope, same thing. So we can start braking, and this is a full stop, or even we can vacate here, but I don't think the exercise is supposed to finish at the end of the runway or at the exit. So we just stop here, set the parking brake, and here we go. So we got an A for this. That means we've aced it, I would say. That wasn't hard. And you can try it as well if you have Flight Simulator, or if you go in real life and you train on Flight Simulator, you will see that it's a bit different because you will have to feel the airplane, but the references are not that far from what you have seen today. I hope that this video added again more value to your knowledge, but now you have to fetch for the experience, because there's a saying that says knowledge without experience is philosophy. So go get that experience, and I'll see you on the next video with the same series of Back to Basics. Until then, stay safe.